My dear students, welcome to all of you for the discussion regarding alkaloid drugs. This class of compounds are important drugs. This alkaloids introduction we have gone through in our fourth semester. As what are alkaloids, that is their definition, their general properties, then chemical test, that all we have gone through. So just we can refresh that all. Alkaloids means they are alkali-like substances, and that term was first coined and proposed by pharmacist W. M. Sisner in 1819. And the basic characters of alkaloids are due to the presence of nitrogen atom, and that nitrogen atom usually present as a part of ring structure. And about the definition, they are the basic nitrogenous compounds of plant origin containing one or more nitrogen atom as a part of heterocyclic ring structure and having a marked physiological action on human or animal body in comparatively low doses. That are alkaloids. They are basic nitrogenous compounds of generally of plant origin containing one or more nitrogen atom, and that usually as a part of heterocyclic ring structure and having marked physiological action only low doses. At high doses, alkaloids are poisonous substances. And their general properties are, first about their physical properties, they are colorless, crystalline solids with sharp melting point or decomposition range. But some are amorphous gums, while others may be liquids like quinine, spartine, nicotine. These are liquids and volatile in nature. Quinine, spartine, and nicotine are liquids and volatile in nature, and some are colored compounds. Examples are betanidine that having red color, berberine having yellow color, salt of sanguinarine having copper red color. And about their solubility, the free bases of alkaloids are insoluble in water and soluble in organic solvents. And their alkaloidal salts that are soluble in water and insoluble in organic solvents. And usually alkaloids are levorotatory in nature. Here also some exceptions are there. In case of quinine that is dextrorotatory, and papaverine is optically inactive. Next about their chemical properties. They are showing basic nature, and that basic nature is due to the presence of availability of the lone pair of electrons on nitrogen atom. That basic character can be enhanced when the adjacent functional groups are electron releasing. Electron releasing groups attach ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ basic nature enhance ചെയ്യും. And they turn to acid or neutral when adjacent functional groups are electron withdrawing, like amide groups, which reduces the availability of lone pair of electrons. So basic character is enhanced by presence of electron releasing group, and their this neutral or acidic character can be enhanced by the attachment of electron withdrawing groups. And usually alkaloids are showing prominent physiological action, but they are also very poisonous in nature. Another example is Socrates was condemned to death by giving a cup of hemlock oil. ഹെംലോക്ക് ഓയിൽ കൊടുത്തിട്ടാണ് സോക്രട്ടീസിനെ കൊന്നിരുന്നത്. അതിനുള്ള ഹെംലോക്ക് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ദാറ്റ് കണ്ടെയ്ൻസ് കുനിൻ. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ആൻ ആൽക്കലോയിഡൽ ഡ്രഗ്സ്. ദെൻ usually alkaloids may contain one or more nitrogen atom, that depending upon their nitrogen atoms, that may be primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary ammonium compounds. Primary example is primary nitrogen containing alkaloid example is mescaline, secondary ephedrine, tertiary example is atropine, quaternary ammonium compound example is tubocurarine chloride. These are the general properties, that is physical and chemical properties. Then about their chemical test, the important tests are Mayer's test, Wagner's, Dragon-Droff's, Hager's, and picrolonic acid test. Mayer's reagent is potassium mercuric iodide. With Mayer's reagent, that having that is the alkaloids are converted into a cream colored precipitate. Then when potassium bismuth iodide, that is Dragon-Droff's reagents, are treated with alkaloids, a reddish brown precipitate is produced. And in case of Wagner's test, that is iodine in potassium iodide solution, reddish yellow precipitate is produced. and Hager's reagent. That is, with Hager's reagent, that is saturated picric acid solution, yellow precipitate is produced, and along with picrolonic acid also the same process occurs, that is yellow precipitate formation. But sometimes the proteins also may give positive test with these all reagents, so care must be taken to remove proteins. And some proteins are filtered out during alkaloidal extraction itself. And one more exception is there in case of purine alkaloids. That is, generally alkaloidsൻ്റെ എല്ലാം പോസിറ്റീവ് ടെസ്റ്റ് തരുന്നതാണ് ഈ ടെസ്റ്റുകൾ, മേയേഴ്സ്, വാഗ്നേഴ്സ്, ഡ്രാഗൺഡ്രോഫ്സ്, ഹാഗേഴ്സ്. ബട്ട് പ്യൂരിൻ ആൽക്കലോയിഡ്സ് ദേ ആർ സ്യൂഡോ ആൽക്കലോയിഡ്സ്. സ്യൂഡോ ആൽക്കലോയിഡ്സിന് എക്സാമ്പിളാണ് കഫീൻ. പ്യൂരിൻ ആൽക്കലോയിഡ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഈസ് കഫീൻ ദാറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി ഡിറ്റക്റ്റഡ് ബൈ മ്യൂറോക്സൈഡ് ടെസ്റ്റ്. In Muroxide test, the caffeine, that is purine alkaloids, are treated with potassium chlorate and 1 drop of hydrochloric acid. Then they are evaporated to dryness. Residue is obtained. That residue, when exposed to ammonia vapors, purple color is produced. That is Muroxide test. MUREXID, Muroxide test. That for the detection of caffeines, that are purine alkaloids. Next, moving to the extraction part, extraction of alkaloids. First one is steam distillation. That steam distillation എപ്പോഴാണ് നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? If the compounds are volatile in nature. So here also these techniques are employed for volatile liquids, alkaloids like nicotine, quinine and spartic. And second one is chromatographic techniques. Any chromatographic techniques can be applied for the isolation of alkaloids. That may be TLC, thin layer chromatography, column chromatography, gas, liquid, ion exchange or high HPTLC, etc. Third method is gradient pH technique. That is separation according to their basicity. And in this case, first crude alkaloid mixtures are first dissolved in 20% tartaric acid solution and then extracted with benzene. So first fraction contain neutral or very weakly basic alkaloids. First we are treating with the tartaric acid. So acid reacts with the either basic, very weakly basic or neutral alkaloids. Then pH of aqueous solution is increased gradually by 0.5 increments up to 9. First 20% tartaric acid is added. Then in each step we have to increase the pH to 0.5 increments and up to pH 9. And extraction is carried out at each step, each pH level with organic solvents. നേരത്തെ നടത്തിയ പോലെ തന്നെ ഓരോ pH ചേഞ്ച് വരുത്തുമ്പോഴും ഓർഗാനിക് സോൾവെൻ്റ് വെച്ച് ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം. By this way, alkaloids with different basicity can be extracted. Strongly basic alkaloids are extracted at the end. This technique is known as gradient pH technique. pHൻ്റെ ബേസിൽ ഓരോരോ പാർട്ടായിട്ട് ഗ്രേഡിയൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്തെടുക്കുക. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഗ്രേഡിയൻറ്റ് pH ടെക്നിക്. നെക്സ്റ്റ് മെത്തേഡ് ഈസ് സ്റ്റാർസ് ഓട്ടോ മെത്തേഡ്. ഇൻ കേസ് ഓഫ് ഗ്ലൈക്കോസൈഡ്സ് ഓൾസോ ദാറ്റ് ആർ എക്സ്ട്രാക്റ്റഡ് ബൈ യൂസിങ് സ്റ്റാർസ് ഓട്ടോ മെത്തേഡ്. And here first powdered crude drugs are moistened with water, then treated with lime. During that time, that liberates alkaloidal bases from their acid salt. When that usually may be in a salt form, when we are adding lime, the alkaloidal bases are released from their salt. Then further they are extracted with any organic solvents like chloroform or ether. Then collect the extract and concentrate it, and again extracted with aqueous acidic solution in a separating funnel. That is a concentrated extract or any organic solvent concentrated extracts are transferring into a separating funnel. Then add aqueous acidic solution, again extract. So during that time alkaloids are passing to aqueous phase as alkaloidal salts. Non-alkaloidal impurities will be in that organic layer. Then collect the aqueous acidic layer or aqueous acidic extract, then basify with ammonia or aqueous potassium hydroxide. Basify with ammonia or aqueous potassium hydroxide. So liberated free bases are extracted with organic solvents. Liberated free bases are extracted with organic solvents, then collect the organic layer and concentrate to obtain total alkaloids. That is Stas-Otto method. So first we have to collect the powdered drug. Powdered drug moisten with water, treat with lime. So alkaloidal bases are liberated from their salt. Again extract with chloroform or either, that is any organic solvent. Then collect the extract and concentrate. Again that is transferred into a separating funnel and again extract with aqueous acidic solution. Now the alkaloids are in aqueous phase as alkaloidal salt. And this aqueous acidic extract is basified with ammonia or aqueous potassium hydroxide. So the free bases are liberated and that can be extracted with the organic solvent. Then separate the organic layer and concentrate it to obtain true alkaloids or total alkaloids. This is Das-Otto method. Then about the classification, that also we have gone through in our fourth semester. That is, they can be classified based upon their pharmacological properties as pharmacological classification, then taxonomical classification based upon their family, then biosynthetic classification based upon the precursor from which they are collecting. That may be indole alkaloids. Example, indole alkaloids are usually derived from tryptophan. Then tyrosine, papaverine for the synthesis of papaverine, phenylalanine for the synthesis of ephedrine, like this. And fourth one is chemical classification. Is based upon the heterocyclic nucleus present in that. That is, pyridine alkaloid examples are caffeine, indole alkaloid examples are ergot, vinca, ravolfia. Quinoline alkaloids examples are cinchona contains quinine, quinidine, cinchonine. These all are quinine alkaloids, like that. These are the examples for chemical classification. That about the classification. So next about the alkaloidal drugs. There are various classes of alkaloidal drugs that all are having their own importance. Generally they are poisonous in nature, but at low concentration they are having very high therapeutic properties. And according to your syllabus, we have to give importance to the drugs such as, first one is vinca. Vinca എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് ശവന്നാറി. നമ്മളൊക്കെ സാധാരണ യൂഷ്വലി കാണുന്നൊരു ആണ്. ബട്ട് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് യൂസ്ഡ് ആസ് കൾട്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിലും അല്ലാതെ തന്നെയും കൾട്ടിവേറ്റ് അതിന് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് നമ്മൾ വലിയ കെയർ ഒന്നും കൊടുക്കണ്ട, അല്ലാതെ തന്നെ അത് ഗ്രോ ചെയ്തോളും. തൈ വെച്ച് കൊടുത്താൽ മതി, അതിങ്ങനെ ഗ്രോ ചെയ്തോളും. സീഡ്സ് ഒന്നും ഉണ്ടാവും, ഗ്രോ ചെയ്യും. And that are having anti-cancer activity. Vincristine, vinblastine, these are isolated from vinca that having anti-cancer activity. Then next one is ravolfia. In case of ravolfia, you have to go through their cultivation collection and also their microscopical characteristics. Ravolfia is also known as sarpagantha, anti-hypertensive drug ആണ്. ഈ പ്ലാന്റ് അധികം നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ട് ഫെമിലിയർ ആയിരിക്കും, കാട്ടിലൊക്കെ കാണുന്നതാണ്. കൾട്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതല്ല, അല്ലാതെ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് യൂഷ്വലി എവിടെയെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ സ്ഥലത്ത് കാണാൻ പറ്റും. ഇതിൻ്റെ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന റൂട്ടാണ് ഇത്. ദിസ് റെപ്രസെൻറ്റ്സ് ദ പ്ലാന്റ് ഇമേജ്. ദെൻ തേർഡ് വൺ ഈസ് ബെലഡോണ. ബെലഡോണ ഈസ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഫോർ ട്രോപ്പൈൻ ആൽക്കലോയിഡ് ഡ്രഗ്സ്. ട്രോപ്പൈൻ ആൽക്കലോയിഡ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ദാറ്റ് കണ്ടെയ്ൻ കൺസിസ്റ്റിംഗ് ഓഫ് ട്രോപ്പൈൻ ന്യൂക്ലിയസ്. ദീസ് ഓൾ ട്രോപ്പൈൻ ആൽക്കലോയിഡ്സ് ആർ ഡിറൈവ്ഡ് ഫ്രം that means that all are belongs to Solanaceae family. Usually that may be having funnel shaped or bell shaped flowers. ഒന്നുകിൽ തൂങ്ങി കിടക്കുന്നോ സിംഗിൾ ഫ്ലവേഴ്സ് ആയിട്ട് കാണാം, തൂങ്ങി കിടക്കുന്നുണ്ടാവും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പിന്നെ ഫണൽ പോലെ പൊങ്ങി നിൽക്കുന്നുണ്ടാവും. കളർ ഡിഫറെൻ്റ് ആവും. അതാണ് എല്ലാ ട്രോപ്പൈൻ ആൽക്കലോയിഡ്സിൻ്റെ ഒരു നേച്ചർ. ഹയോസിയാമസ് ഡെറ്റ്യൂറ, നമ്മുടെ ഇവിടെയൊക്കെ ഫെമിലിയർ ആയിട്ട് കാണുന്ന, കോമൺ ആയിട്ട് കാണുന്ന ഒന്നാണ് ഡെറ്റ്യൂറ, ഉമ്മെന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അതൊക്കെ ഇതേ വെറൈറ്റിയിൽ വരുന്നതാണ്. ദീസ് ആർ ആൻറ്റി കോളിനർജിക് ഡ്രഗ്സ് that mainly contain atropine, hyoscine, hyoscyamine. Atropine is in a racemic form. So the chemical constituents are atropine, hyoscine, hyoscyamine. Then next one is opium. Opium, you all may be familiar with this one. Opium is opium or poppy. Opium or opium poppy. Opium poppy that mainly contain morphine, codeine, terpene. That is the main use, that is used as a narcotic analgesic drug. They are consisting of around 30 alkaloids. Each alkaloids have their own importance. That means ഓരോന്നിനും സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ഫാർമക്കോളജിക്കൽ ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കോൺസ്റ്റുവൻസിനാണ് നമുക്ക് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ്, നമ്മളുടെ സിലബസ് അനുസരിച്ച് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് കൊടുക്കേണ്ടത്. and you have to go through their cultivation collection also, and that is very important too. That may ask for 5 marks itself. കൾട്ടിവേഷൻ കളക്ഷനിൽ ഓരോ സ്റ്റെപ്പും ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആണ്. അത് ഒരു ഇത് ഇമേജോ വീഡിയോസ് കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ തന്നെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ആലോചിച്ച് എഴുതാവുന്നതേ ഉള്ളൂ. പക്ഷേ അതിൽ ഓരോ പോയിൻറ്റ്സും എന്ത് വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് അത് കട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, എങ്ങനെ കളക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു, ഇതിനെല്ലാം ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് കൊടുക്കുക. ദറ്റ് ഈസ് അബൌട്ട് ഒപ്പിയം. ദേ ആർ യൂസ്ഡ് ആസ് നാർക്കോട്ടിക് അനാൽജസിക്സ്. And next one is ephedra. Ephedra, the microscopical characteristic you have to study. It consists of the young stems are collecting. Consists of the stem of Ephedra gerardiana, belongs to the family Ephedraceae, and that is used as an anti-asthmatic drugs. So there are 5 drugs according to your syllabus you have to go through. They are Vinca, anti-cancer drug; Rauwolfia, anti-hypertensive drug; Belladonna, anti-cholinergic drug; Opium, narcotic analgesic; and Ephedra, anti-asthmatic drug. This one representing, one more is there, Cinchona. Cinchona, that is used as anti-malarial agent. Cinchona contain quinine, quinidine, cinchonine and cinchonidine. And this quinine is mainly having anti-malarial activity, and quinidine having anti-arrhythmic properties. So there are total 6 drugs according to your syllabus. They are Vinca, Rauwolfia, Belladonna, Opium, Ephedra and Cinchona. So first we can move to the important drug opium. Opium synonym is poppy, and the biological source, it consists of the dried latex from the unripe capsule of Papaver somniferum, belongs to the family Papaveraceae. It consists of the dried latex. And how they from where we are obtaining that latex? That are obtained from the unripe capsule. Unripe capsule ഇൻസെഷൻ കൊടുക്കുമ്പോൾ ലാറ്റക്സ് എക്സൂഡ് ചെയ്ത് വരും. ആ ലാറ്റക്സിനെ ഡ്രൈ ആയതിനു ശേഷം സ്ക്രാപ്പ് ചെയ്തെടുക്കുക. So it is the dried latex obtained by making incision on the unripe capsule of Papaver somniferum, belongs to the family Papaveraceae. And the geographical source, usually that cultivation collections are carried out under the റെസ്പെക്റ്റീവ് ഗവൺമെൻറ്റ്സ്. അല്ലാതെ എല്ലാവർക്കും നാർക്കോട്ടിക് ഡ്രഗ് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ മിസ്യൂസ് അവോയ്ഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ കൾട്ടിവേഷൻ കളക്ഷനെല്ലാം കൺട്രോൾഡ് ആണ്. റെസ്പെക്റ്റീവ് ഗവൺമെൻറ്റ്സ് ആണ് കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, ഗവേൺ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ആൻഡ് ദ ജോഗ്രഫിക്കൽ സോഴ്സ്, ദേ ആർ usually cultivated in Macedonia, then Yugoslavia, and then Bulgaria, then Turkey, Persia and India. And about the morphological characteristics, after usually that latex are having white color upon drying, and then upon atmospheric exposure that color changes to dark brown. Latex having dark brown color, strong characteristic odor, bitter taste, brittle, and they are plastic in nature. They are brittle and having plastic nature. And about the flowers, that consisting of white flowers and seeds. Capsules, white or pinkish white flowers may be present with and seeds. Capsules are more or less egg shaped, 4 to 8 centimeter diameter. Each capsules are having 4 to 8 centimeter diameter. These are the morphological characteristics. Then moving to their cultivation and collection. As these are potent narcotic drugs, usually the cultivation of opium are governed by respective governments. In India, all the activities of opium and its derivatives are controlled under familiar act ആണ് Narcotic Drug and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985. Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985. അതിൻ്റെ കീഴിലാണ് അതിൻ്റെ കൾട്ടിവേഷൻ കളക്ഷൻസ് എല്ലാം വരുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അത് അല്ലാതെ കൾട്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് തെറ്റാണ്. ഗവൺമെൻറ് കൺട്രോളിലുള്ളവർ, ഗവൺമെൻറ് അപ്രൂവ്ഡ് ഏജൻസീസിന് മാത്രമേ അത് കൾട്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. ആദ്യം പെർമിഷൻ കിട്ടണം. എങ്ങനെയാണ് കൾട്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? So about the propagation, that is cultivation is usually carried out by using seeds. The seeds are mixed with 3 to 4 parts of sand and sown in the month of November. And about the soil, fertile, well drained, loamy soil with fine sands are preferred for the cultivation, and that soils usually should be mixed with organic matter that should be rich in nitrogen content, and the pH of the soil should be around 7. pH is around 7, that's important. That's around neutral pH is preferred for their cultivation. And there after cultivating, that grown from November to March. It is an erect plant attaining around 60 to 120 centimeter height, and distance between two plants should be adjusted to around 25 centimeter by periodical thinning of plants, and that thinning is usually carried out for getting or for obtaining uniform growth and better development. അല്ലാതെ തിക്കായിട്ട് വളർന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഒന്നിൻ്റെയും ഗ്രോത്ത് കറക്റ്റ് ആവില്ല. അപ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് കീപ്പ് ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് വെക്കുന്നത്. ആ ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 25 സെൻറ്റിമീറ്റർ. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ പ്രോപ്പറായിട്ടുള്ള ഗ്രോത്ത്, യൂണിഫോം ഗ്രോത്ത് ഉണ്ടാവും, നല്ല ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ്സും ഉണ്ടാവും. Then during their cultivation, weedicides are applied and insects should be controlled. Main insects attacking these plants are cutworms, poppy borer and leaf miner. Poppy borer, leaf miner and cutworms. And nitrogen and phosphorus fertilizers are applied to increase the growth of the plant, and also other manures and fertilizers also increases the yield. First have to but we have to give preference to nitrogen and phosphorus. Nitrogen phosphorus loving plant ആണ്, അതാണ് ഗ്രോത്ത് പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. These are the cultivation conditions. Seeds are used for cultivation. Seeds plus sand, they are sown. Then the pH is of the soil is around 7. Then periodical thinning to keep the distance between two plants are 25 centimeter. Insects should be controlled like poppy borer, leaf miner, cutworms. Sodium and potassium increases the growth of plants. Then about their collection, 3 to 4 months after sowing, that plant starts bearing flowers, and after few days that flowers are converted into capsules. That produces capsules. And after 15 to 20 days after attaining maturity, that will attain maturity after 15 to 20 days. So 3 to 4 months after sowing, that flowers are bearing. Then within few days that get converted into capsules, and after 15 to 20 days that capsules attains maturity. During this maturity period, that will exudes maximum latex. During that time the capsule color changes from dark green to light green. That color changes to dark green to light green. അപ്പോഴാണ് മെച്യൂരിറ്റി എത്തിയെന്നുള്ളത് മനസ്സിലാക്കാം കളർ നോക്കിയിട്ട്. And for collecting, incisions are provided in the afternoon time. Incisions are provided in the afternoon time. That is, and that incisions are providing, vertical incisions are providing with a needle like apparatus called as nester. This is representing the needle like apparatus. Incisions are providing by using a needle like apparatus called as nester. This one is that after providing incision, this is vertical, these are the vertical incisions are providing. So after providing this incision by needle like apparatus, that latex exudes out, and it penetrates maximum up to 2 millimeter into the capsule. Nester spelling is NUSHTUR. Sorry, that R is missing in this. NUSHTUR, nester. These are needle like apparatus that are used to provide vertical incisions to the poppy capsules. So that penetrates a maximum up to 2 millimeter into the capsule. So latex exudes out through the incision. In this image you can clearly see in that one. You are able to see that one. There is the through that incisions, that is by providing needles. By using needles we are providing incisions. From that incisions, that latex exuding out. So latex exudes out through the incisions and thickened due to the cold weather in the night. Afternoon ആണ് നമ്മൾ ഇൻസെക്ഷൻ കൊടുക്കുന്നത്. ഉച്ചയ്ക്ക് ഇൻസെക്ഷൻ കൊടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പിന്നെ അവിടെ തന്നെ വെക്കുക. അപ്പോൾ കോൾഡ് വെതർ നൈറ്റ് ആകുമ്പോഴേക്കും അന്തരീക്ഷം തണുക്കില്ലേ, ആ കോൾഡ് വെതറിൽ എന്താവും, അതൊന്ന് കട്ട് ചെയ്യും. സോ ലാറ്റക്സ് എക്സൂഡ്സ് ഔട്ട് ഫ്രം ത്രൂ ദ ഇൻസിഷൻസ് ആൻഡ് തിക്കൺ ഡ്യൂ ടു കോൾഡ് വെതർ ഇൻ നൈറ്റ്, ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി സ്ക്രാപ്ഡ് ആൻഡ് കളക്റ്റഡ് ഇൻ next morning by using a iron scoop like apparatus called as charpala. This one is representing charpala. iron scoop-like apparatus called as charpala. This one, charpala iron scoop-like apparatus, is used for collecting, for scraping out. This image representing the collected latex from this capsule by using charpala. This is the capsule that charpala, by using charpala. He is using charpala, by using charpala that are collected. So that now see the color. First it was white in color, now that color changes to reddish black color. The color changes to brownish black color. First it was white color. So during that atmospheric changes and during that night time, that color changes to brownish black color. So the important points are needle-like apparatus, nester for providing incisions, that providing incisions are provided in the afternoon time. Then during the night time, that get coagulated and that can be collected by an apparatus named as charpala in the next morning. And each capsules cut several times at 2 to 3 days interval. In each capsule we can provide several incision within 2 to 3 days interval, and incision must not penetrate into anterior of capsule, otherwise latex will be lost. Latex ullige പോകും, അതിങ്ങോട്ട് പുറത്തേക്ക് നമുക്ക് എക്സ്ട്രൂഡ് ചെയ്ത് വരില്ല. So and after collection, latex is placed in a tilted vessel so that dark fluid named as pasua, which is not required, may drain off. കളക്ട് ചെയ്തതിന് ശേഷം ചെരിഞ്ഞ ഒരു പ്രതലത്തിൽ വെക്കുക. ടിൽറ്റഡ് പൊസിഷനിൽ വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താവും, അതിലുള്ള ഫ്ലൂയിഡ് എക്സൂഡ് ചെയ്ത് വരും. ദറ്റ് ഈസ് പസ്വ, ദറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് നീഡഡ്, സോ ദാറ്റ് ഷുഡ് ബി റിമൂവ്. Then latex collected in the remaining latex is collected in plastic containers, and by exposure to air, opium acquires suitable consistency for packing. In Indian opium exported usually in 5 kg blocks, each block wrapped in grease proof paper, tied with tape and placed in polythene bags. To facilitate air transport, lightweight wooden cases are used. And drug usually having soft consistency and they are having plastic nature, and because of this plastic nature they are difficult to dry and powder. Hence in some cases that are not powder and used in block form itself. This is about their cultivation and collection. Next, about the chemical constituents. Latex contains around various classes of alkaloids. These all are alkaloids, that is mainly opium contain phenanthrene and benzyl isoquinoline alkaloids. These are derived from tyrosine and phenylalanine. They are derived from the amino acid tyrosine and phenylalanine. Around 30 alkaloids are there. They are classified mainly into two as phenanthrene alkaloids and phenanthrene alkaloids are benzene and benzyl isoquinoline alkaloids. Among that phenanthrene alkaloids itself, most important ones are morphine, codeine and thebaine. And benzyl isoquinoline alkaloids are narcotin or noscapine, narcine and papaverine. Narcotin or noscapine, narcine and papaverine. These are benzyl isoquinoline alkaloids, and phenanthrene alkaloids are morphine, codeine, thebaine. Phenanthrene alkaloids are morphine, codeine, thebaine. Benzyl isoquinoline alkaloids are narcotin, narcine and papaverine. About the characteristics, morphine is monoacidic in nature, levorotatory phenolic alkaloid, and also contain alcoholic hydroxyl group at C6 position. This one is morphine. And acetylated form is diacetyl morphine or heroin, that is used as a semi-synthetic opium compound. Heroin is diacetyl morphine, and due to the phenolic hydroxyl group, they are soluble in alkali hydroxide except ammonium hydroxide. This is about the characteristics of morphine. Monoacidic, levorotatory, and the diacetyl derivative is heroin, and they are showing solubility in alkali hydroxides. Next, about codeine. Codeine is methyl morphine. Codeine is methyl morphine. You can see the difference over here. OH changed to OCH3. That's the difference in case of morphine and codeine. Codeine is methyl morphine, that is strong monoacidic base. levorotatory, soluble in water and organic solvents. Next, moving to the drug papaverine. This one representing the structure of papaverine. Papaverine is weak monoacidic base, optically inactive. That point is important. This is a optically inactive opium alkaloid, papaverine, insoluble in water and slightly soluble in organic solvents. And narcotin, that are weak monoacidic bases, levorotatory, and their salts are dextrorotatory. They are usually levorotatory, but there's also dextrorotatory and soluble in organic solvent, insoluble in water. And minor alkaloids are protopin and hydroquaternion. And other constituents are meconic acid, sugar and waxes. That means all the opium alkaloids are usually found as a salt of meconic acid. So other constituent is meconic acid. Next, moving to the chemical test. First one for detecting the presence of meconic acid. Opium alkaloids, all the opium alkaloids are salts of meconic acid. So first test is for detecting the presence or for testing the presence of meconic acid. Alkaloids are present as salts of meconic acid. So opium dissolved in water, then filter and collect the filtrate, and that filtrate is treated with ferric chloride solution. Deep reddish purple color is produced, and upon addition of hydrochloric acid, that color remains there. That indicates the presence of meconic acid. And next one for the detection of morphine. Morphine, when sprinkled on nitric acid, orange red color is produced, but that does not take place. There is no color formation along with codeine. No color formation with codeine. Sorry, here codeine, no color formation. And next one, morphine solution when treated with potassium ferricyanide and ferric chloride solution, that produces bluish green color. Here the second test is in case of morphine. Morphine when treated with potassium ferricyanide and ferric chloride, that is bluish green color. ഇവിടെ ഒരു മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് പറ്റിയതാണ്, ടൈപ്പിംഗ് മിസ്റ്റേക്കാണ്. Here potassium ferricyanide and ferric chloride, bluish green color. This is also for chemical test for morphine. So morphine when sprinkled on nitric acid, orange red color. Codeine does not provide any color with this nitric acid. And next test for morphine is when treated with the potassium ferricyanide and ferric chloride, bluish green color formation. The next one, the chemical test for papaverine. Papaverine plus potassium ferricyanide solution, lemon yellow color formation. And in case of codeine with sodium hydroxide, that gets precipitated. And one more we have gone through, there is more codeine plus nitric acid, no color formation. These are the chemical tests for identification of opium and their salts. Opium usually found as salts of meconic acid that can be detected by testing with the ferric chloride, deep brownish purple color. Morphine when sprinkled on nitric acid, orange red color. And with the potassium ferricyanide and ferric chloride, bluish green color. But when papaverine plus when treated with the potassium ferricyanide, lemon yellow color is produced. Codeine plus sodium hydroxide, that gets precipitated. And one more test, codeine plus nitric acid, no color formation. Next, their uses, they are narcotic analgesic. So usually they are narcotic analgesic, mainly morphine, that having narcotic analgesic properties, sedative and hypnotic property too, and that act mainly on the sensory nerve cells of the cerebrum. And due to this morphine's central narcotic effect, it causes addiction, hence given only in severe pains and when the patients does not responding to any other analgesic drugs. വേറെ ഡ്രഗ്സുമായിട്ട് ഒന്നും റെസ്പോണ്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ലെങ്കിൽ മാത്രവും പിന്നെ എമർജൻസി കേസിൽ അത്രയും സിവിയർ പെയിനിലും മാത്രമേ മോർഫിൻ കൊടുക്കാറുള്ളൂ. അതിന് സെൻട്രൽ നർക്കോട്ടിക് ഇഫക്റ്റ് ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ എന്താവും, അഡിക്ഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവും. അഡിക്ഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവുകൊണ്ടാണ് അതിൻ്റെ യൂസ് ഭയങ്കര റെസ്ട്രിക്റ്റഡാണ്. മോർഫിനൊന്നും സാധാരണ വെറുതെ ചെന്ന് പോയി OTC ഡ്രഗ് ആയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുന്നില്ലല്ലോ. There are narcotic analgesic drugs. കറക്റ്റ് ഡോക്ടർ പ്രിസ്ക്രിപ്ഷൻ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ ആ വിത്തിൻ ഷോർട്ട് പീരീഡിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ നമുക്ക് ഈ നർക്കോട്ടിക് അനാൽജസിക് ഡ്രഗ്സ് എല്ലാം കിട്ടുള്ളൂ. പക്ഷേ കൊടീൻ സിറപ്പുകളുണ്ട്. ഇതൊക്കെ ചിലർ മിസ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതലായിട്ട് പ്രോബ്ലം വരുന്ന മോർഫിനൊക്കെ കേസിലാണ്. മോർഫിനാണ് ഇത് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്, അഡിക്ഷൻ ഉണ്ടാക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ദർ യൂസസ് ആർ റെസ്ട്രിക്റ്റഡ് ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് ആർ പ്രിഫേർഡ് ഇൻ സിവിയർ പെയിൻസ് and if the patient is not responding to any other analgesic. And next about codeine, that relieves local irritation in the bronchial tract and as an antitussive in various cough medicines. That is mainly used as an antitussive agent, mild analgesic effect, but that is potent than aspirin. But their activity is 1/10 of that of morphine. Morphine കാട്ടിലും 1/10 analgesic activity ഉള്ളൂ, but the activity of analgesic activity is more than aspirin. Next about papaverine. There is papaverine based upon the classification that are benzyl isoquinoline alkaloids. This papaverine is mainly used as a spasmolytic agent, that is relaxant effect on smooth muscles of intestinal and bronchial tract and blood vessels that are acting as spasmolytic agent. Then narcotin that are included in cough linctuses that having specific depressant action on cough reflex. Then semi-synthetic derivative is diacetyl morphine or heroin that having more narcotic analgesic property than morphine but less habit forming. Then morphine upon losing one motor molecule that get converted into apomorphine, that is emetic and used as subcutaneous injection for treating poisons. Then morphine, when in the structure of morphine, in the structure of morphine, if we are replacing one of the hydroxyl group and also removal of adjacent double bond, that leads to the formation of hydromorphone. That is also narcotic analgesic but less habit forming. And synthetic morphine compounds are opioids. Opioids are medicinally active form of morphine but non-habit forming. That are synthetic morphine compounds. Semi-synthetic one was heroin, diacetyl morphine. Synthetic compounds are opioids. This is about the uses of opium alkaloids. Then there are commercial varieties. They are Indian opium, Persian opium, Turkish opium and Chinese opium. Indian opium, dark brown color, form cubical pieces, brittle and plastic in nature. Persian opium, that's also having dark brown color, brick shaped masses, that having brick shaped masses, hygroscopic and granular or smooth surface. Turkish opium, they are commonly known as soft opium, that having brown or dark brown color, conical rounded or flattened masses. And Chinese opium having flat globular cake form. And about the adulterants, they are the opium alkaloids are usually their production, there is cultivation, collection and their all production process are carried out under government controls and hence normally not found to be get adulterated. The adulterated form may be present in case of powdered drugs, that is opium capsules may be used as adulterant. That is opium capsules are powdered and that may be mixed along with this latex. ഒപ്പിയം പൗഡേർഡ് ആൻഡ് ഗംസ് ഒക്കെ വേണമെങ്കിൽ മിക്സ് ചെയ്യാം. ഇതാണ് സാധാരണ ഇത് അഡൾട്രൻസ് ഒന്നും ഉണ്ടാവാറില്ല, കാരണം ഇത് ഗവൺമെൻറ് കൺട്രോളിലാണ് നടക്കുന്ന എല്ലാ പ്രോസസ്സും. അപ്പോൾ അഡൾട്രേഷനുള്ള ചാൻസസ് വളരെ കുറവാണ്. ആൻഡ് ഇൻ സം കേസസ് ഒപ്പിയം ക്യാപ്സൂൾസ് മേ ബി പൗഡേർഡ് ആൻഡ് may be adulterated with this latex. This is about the adulterant. Also commercial varieties: Indian opium, Persian opium, Turkish opium, Chinese opium. And the adulterant that occurs in rare cases is opium capsules may be adulterated in powdered drugs. So this much about the alkaloidal drug opium and their cultivation collection. You have to give importance to their cultivation collection and about the chemical constituents, chemical test, etc. Okay, thank you all for your kind cooperation and listening. Thank you once again.